Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Chris with my dad,
Kenneth Evans.
Kenneth
How you
Evans.
doing?
Of course, you know me. I'm Christopher Evans, also known as Captain Snowflake. We are going to start a podcast. Um, I, for as long as I can remember, I liked creating, and so why not create with my dad? I think that'd be cool.
Yes, it would.
Yeah. So he's new to the podcast. I've done a podcast before with my friend Taz. It was mostly wrestling stuff, but due to scheduling issues, we kind of had to stop with that one. But hopefully, with you, hopefully we can keep a good schedule.
Well, we can see what we can do with it.
Yeah, I think we can.
With my work schedule sometimes.
Yes, yes. With you being on call some weeks, or or the possibility of me having to be called in because I work retail. So anything could happen, but that's the beauty of life.
Yes, it is.
So,
you grow up, you pay bills, then you have your life.
Yep, rinse and repeat.
Yep.
So the title, I worked around with the title. A few names came up, but something about this one. I mean, if you're listening to it at this point, you've already seen the title. It's Danville and Beyond. And then I also made a logo real quick. Logo is probably going to change over time. I would like to make it more updated, I guess. This was just kind of like a rough logo to get started.
Maybe showing things that's around Danville, like the casino.
Casino, yeah. Because the one we got now is just like a factory.
Yes.
Which I kind of took from the mill.
Right. And we're also going to have the white mill, which is turning into apartments.
Yes. And some of those are supposed to be luxury apartments.
Luxury apartments and retail, too, I hear.
I forgot about the retail.
Yeah,
they're supposed to have retail in there, too. But yeah, our goal really is to just have a scheduled time where me and my dad can talk. And plus, it'd be cool to have an audio file of my dad.
No, I'm not going to be around forever. So.
Yeah, exactly. That's one of the reasons I think it'd be cool to look back and have these audio files of conversations between us. And, maybe something I forgot, a lesson you told me. I could always go back to these and kind of remember.
If I can remember some of the lessons myself.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but yeah, we want to go over life stories, questions from you guys. Now, you can either give us questions from the email, which I'll give at the end of the podcast, or directly on YouTube in the comments, or either Facebook on the comments. I thought about making a Facebook page for this podcast, but I think it's just going to work out better if I share it on my page and then you share it on your page.
Yes.
Because if I make a brand new page, I'm going to have to add everybody, and people are going to have to actually go to that page and add us to see our content.
Right.
Whereas if I share it, all my friends will see it, and then if you share it, all your friends will see it.
Right.
So I think it's, instead of starting from scratch, just work with what we got there. I think. Now I did make a Twitter. That's just because I think that'll be helpful. I didn't make an Instagram or a TikTok yet, but I do have the Twitter, the YouTube, and then of course this will be on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. And all those other things too.
And it'll also be stuff that we like to talk about, and it'll be also stuff that y'all can put in to see what we think about stuff.
Yeah. So like I said, I'll take questions from listeners. Now, they can be as simple as what's your favorite color to life advice.
Right.
I think it'd be a good range of, just a good range of questions.
It'll be what I think about life and what you think about life.
And then together you can take our input and either go with it,
throw it in the trash, or take it to whatever you need next.
Yep. Then I plan on doing trivia games. Now we can do trivia because we like movies and TV shows.
I got him started in the movies. His first movie was Batman.
Yeah, Batman, the 1989.
Yes, I think it was.
I think it was the original, the one with Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson as the Joker.
Yes.
I believe that was 1989. But yeah, you had all those, by the time I was around, you had all those, so Batman had come out, Batman Returns, Batman Forever, and then Batman and Robin.
Yes.
All those were on VHS, and I ruined those VHS tapes.
He watched them over and over and over and over.
I would literally watch them, rewind, and then watch it again. I would start it right over again. And it wasn't like once a week. Sometimes I'd pick Batman Returns, for example, and I would watch that for like a week.
I have come in there times that you would be asleep and it would still be playing.
Yeah, well, that definitely hasn't changed. I will fall asleep. I'll fall asleep in a second, especially when it comes to a movie. It's just something about, especially if it's a comfort movie, like if it's an older movie, like I'll just put on like an old movie sometimes, like Liar Liar or just old movies that I've seen 1,000 times, just like as a comfort film, and I'll just fall right asleep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we want to talk about movies, shows. Also, this is going to be bi-weekly, so we're gonna record every other Sunday, but we're gonna post the episode every other Wednesday. So that gives us time. Like for example, I'm pretty sure we decided that we're gonna watch The Mandalorian.
Oh yes.
And then go from kind of like give our opinions on that show. And I think we're gonna do a season.
Well, see, I've already watched it all.
You got
to watch it.
Yeah, I'm really far behind when it comes to The Mandalorian, which is pretty bad because there's 3 seasons of it now, and I'm still in the first season. Like I didn't even finish that. I'm really bad with new shows. Like I'll start off strong, and then one week I'll just like not remember to watch it, and then it's like, oh, well now I gotta watch 2 episodes to catch up, and then I'll forget again. Now it's 3 episodes to catch up, and so like it just becomes a snowball effect of like, I forgot to watch it. Now I have to watch more. So,
well, my very first movie that I remember is E.T.
E.T.
Seeing it with your grandma.
Okay.
That was my very first movie that really got me into movies.
Now, was that in Danville? Was that in a theater?
That was in Danville.
Do you remember what theater it was?
It was the one on Riverside where...
right there where Shoe Carnival was at? No, not that one. It was
the one where me and your mama met down there where the church is now.
Okay, I do remember there being a movie theater.
Years ago, it used to be Macy's.
Yeah, I remember. So that's for people that are in Danville. If you're a Beyonder, by the way, I want to put this in here. So when you ask us a question, I would like for you to say whether you're a Danvillian, meaning you're from here, or you're a Beyonder, which means you're from beyond Danville. But if you're a Danvillian and you're old enough, you'll remember a movie theater right there where that church is at there now.
I'm 57.
Yeah, well, I'm 28.
So the people that's lived here long enough will remember stuff that's around my age that's been around.
Oh, yeah.
And stuff that you remember of your age group will remember what's been around. Since you've been around.
Yeah, the first movie I can remember going to the theaters to watch with you, I believe it was the first Harry Potter.
Yep.
And I know we watched movies at home together like countless times, but the first one that I can remember going to the movie theater with you was the first Harry Potter. Yep. And that was right there where Red Crab is at now.
Yes.
There was a movie theater there.
Right.
Now, the first movie I can remember going to see with Granny was Tarzan, and that was over there near Ballou Park, I think. It was a movie theater over there.
Yes.
Yeah. And now we've just got the one, but yeah, Danville's had quite a few movie theaters over the years.
And your grandma she liked movies too. She liked the Jurassic Parks.
Yes.
We took your grandma there a couple of times. Me and your mama did.
Yeah. Jurassic Park. Back when COVID was around, they weren't making new movies.
Right.
And so the movie theaters were showing older movies. And so while I was in Florida, I got to see the original Jurassic Park.
Oh, by the way, he did move to Florida and do...
Yes, of course.
His schooling.
Yeah, I did film school in Florida. So I was there from 2018 to about 2020.
Yes.
That sounds about right. Of course, COVID happened. We had to move back.
And you did get to graduate.
I did graduate, though.
Yeah, we did that here.
Yeah.
Because COVID was around.
Yeah, it was a mock graduation that we had here in the backyard. Because I actually didn't get to walk unfortunately, with
because
COVID.
of COVID. Yes.
But now they have offered to let anybody that graduated then walk at a later time. But
Look how far you would have to travel to
well,
do
that and like I'd be walking with people I didn't know.
Right.
So imagine if
None of your classmates.
imagine graduating and you're sitting next to a guy. You're like, he wasn't here.
I mean, yeah, because when y'all graduated, everybody just went their
Dispersed.
separate ways.
Yes. No, so there are people that graduated that went straight into the film industry.
Right.
Like two of my friends, maybe three, I know that went directly into the film industry.
Right.
I think one moved to Georgia. I think Atlanta, Georgia, and then the other one I think is, I think it's in New Jersey. I think she lives in New Jersey, but she travels a lot because of the film industry. But yeah, I did go to school for that. I hope to use it one day, but it's you got to make a living, and sometimes that living is in a car from shoot to shoot or from
You're traveling a lot.
Yeah, so that's kind of hard in the position I'm in right now.
But if you get with the right group, they'll fly you to wherever you want.
Yeah, that's true.
Especially if you're going to be the main person that they need, they're going to fly you.
Yeah. I guess, of course, when I was there, we did a little bit of everything from pre-production to post-production.
Right.
But, I focused mostly in post-production, which is, putting the movie together after they filmed it.
And if anybody's interested, tell them what school it was. Because
yeah. So, it was Full Sail in Winter Park. If you watch NXT, they used to record there. They would say Orlando. It pretty much was Orlando, but it was actually Winter Park. It was always funny.
And me and your mama toured it a couple of times, and it's a great facility.
Yeah, it's a great school.
Yes.
I still stand by it to this day. I think I've told y'all this before. Even if I never use that degree, my time there was worth it. And I don't know if a lot of people can say that after graduating. Even if most people when they graduate, if they don't get a use out of that degree, they kind of feel like it was wasted. I'm the farthest thing from that. Is the experience that I had, not only away from home, because that was a big step for me.
Right.
Had to be away from home. Because I was 23 at the time.
It's hard for me to remember.
I can't remember. It was in 2018. Yeah. I could probably do the math, but I'm bad at math. But that was a big step to move, not only move out, but move to Florida from Virginia. That was a big step. So not only did I enjoy my time there being away from home, but I also just enjoyed my time being in school.
Your math was right.
I was 23.
23.
I was 23, yeah.
I'm using my calculator, folks.
Yeah. Yeah, math is definitely not my strong suit.
Yeah. Well, mine is at certain extents. I remember numbers.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Yeah. See, I'm good with faces, not numbers.
I'm bad with faces.
Yeah.
And names. Well, I remember faces, but I can't remember
But you can't put their
names.
name to it? Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah. So, and so this right here is a perfect example that there's going to be times where we ramble.
Yes.
But,
we ramble a lot.
yeah, but I think that's the essence of a father-son relationship.
Yes.
Which I do want to highlight across these episodes. Because one thing, I don't know, it's not that, I guess I just didn't notice it when I was younger. It wasn't until middle school to going into high school that I realized how lucky I was. Because not a lot of people had their dad.
No.
Either because, they passed or they just weren't in the picture. Or, just not good relationship. But it took me a while to realize it's I'm lucky.
Well, I appreciate that.
My dad's not only in my life, but a big part of my life.
Right.
And like I say, I didn't realize that was something to be excited about until I was a little older. I was all right, some of these people don't have their dad.
Right.
And so it's definitely something I want to highlight is that not only the father-son connection, but our connection. Because every relationship is different.
Well, see, my dad traveled all the time. He
Yes.
was gone all week, and the only time I ever seen him was on the weekend.
Yeah, I can remember, like we said, watching movies, watching sci-fi. I didn't care what you were watching on sci-fi, but when you got off of work, it could have been Star Trek, it could have been Stargate, Hercules and Xena.
Yeah.
That's a throwback for some of y'all. Hercules and Xena on the Sci-Fi Channel, or even if it was just like a sci-fi original movie. Like yeah, I remember watching those around dinner time when you got off. And like I say, I didn't really care what it was.
Well, a whole lot of times when I was getting off, your mom was going to work.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, especially when I was younger.
It was just us together.
Yeah, because I remember playing the Super Nintendo, Donkey Kong Country 2, I think.
Yeah.
In that old house next to Grandma's house. It used to be.
Yes.
Yeah. Was it Scales? Is that on Scales Street?
Yes, that was Scale Street,
that was
right
Scale
at the end of Cliff Street.
That's right there, then in Cliff Street. Yeah. I remember playing Donkey Kong Country 2 on the original Super Nintendo, which is kind of where I started, was Super Nintendo. And then, of course, PlayStation 1. And then I've had every console. I've had every PlayStation. And that's weird. I just thought about it. I've had every PlayStation console. I've had the first one, second one, third one, fourth one, and now the fifth one.
But how many times did I help you beat?
Oh my God, countless times. Whether it was Donkey Kong or later on Jack and Dexter, Sly Cooper, Ratchet and Clank.
Well, we both love Sly Cooper.
Oh yeah, for sure. And then, they're sitting on money.
Yeah, I don't know why they don't come back out with it. It was
because they remade Ratchet and Clank.
Right.
And they did a Ratchet and Clank movie.
Yeah.
That came out the same time as the game. So years ago, there was supposed to be a Sly Cooper movie that was animated like that.
Right.
And then they were supposed to piggyback off of that and do like a reboot for the games. But for some reason, they didn't go with Sly Cooper. They went with Ratchet and Clank.
And I don't understand why. I thought Sly Cooper was more...
Looking back, I think Sly Cooper would have been the better call. But yes. Ratchet and Clank is still good. I mean, I'm not knocking Ratchet and Clank because I have countless memories with Ratchet and Clank. And the new movie, as well as the game that was based off the movie, is still pretty good. But it's just like you were right there with Sly Cooper. Why didn't you go through with it?
Right.
And I guess it was like production issues or something. I mean, who knows? I mean, there's a lot of stuff that can go wrong.
Things that we like, everybody else does not like.
Yeah, that too. Just because
we may have been in a smaller group, the people that liked it than the people
that's
that
true.
did not like it.
Because some people, Sly Cooper was a big part of games for me as a whole.
Right.
But for somebody else growing up, it could have been Ratchet and Clank.
Right.
It could have been just like a general consensus of more people know what Ratchet and Clank is.
Yes.
And so, you can't bank on the people that do know.
Right.
You have to bank on people that you can pull in.
Right.
So the best example of that's probably Spider-Man or Batman. When they make a superhero movie, they go for the heroes that people know.
Right.
They don't go straight for Aquaman. They start with Superman, Batman.
Which that would be a good game.
Aquaman,
Yes.
Because I don't know if you ever... I'm pretty sure you saw me play them, but the Batman Arkham games?
Yes.
Yeah, so they're coming out with one next year, I think. It's the same universe, but you're the Suicide Squad. So you're playing as Harley Quinn, Killer... Not Killer Croc. King Shark. So it's Harley Quinn, King Shark, Captain Boomerang, and Deadshot. You play as all four of those characters, and you can mix, you can change which character you're playing, on the fly.
Just switch around.
Yeah. And so those superheroes are the ones that they go to because people know them. But yeah, going back to Sly Cooper, I guess it was just a thing of more people know who Ratchet and Clank is than who Sly Cooper is.
Well, if you going back to growing up, we tried to make things fun for you.
Yeah.
Do you remember how you got the first PlayStation game?
Well, the first PlayStation game I can remember was Rugrats.
No, I'm talking about the game console
How I got
itself.
it was
Yes.
on Christmas.
Yes.
Yeah, it was on Christmas.
And it was scavenger hunt, remember?
I
Where you had to go find the notes and it would
Okay.
take you to the certain places.
Yeah.
You remember that?
I don't remember that for the PlayStation. I remember that for the Rock Band a few years out.
No, it was something for both of y'all at
Okay.
that time.
Okay, yeah,
Maybe it was PlayStation 2. I don't know.
it could have been because PlayStation 1. I don't know. It was one of those, but I do remember a scavenger hunt for one of them.
Yes.
Yeah, which was fun. Yeah,
We always tried to make things fun for y'all when
Yeah.
y'all was growing up.
and I also remember going back to the PlayStation 1. I remember I got Rugrats, and y'all got NASCAR.
Yes.
And I remember y'all.
We sat up all night playing it.
Yeah, so like my parents stayed up all night and played NASCAR. Like I don't know how many people can say that. Most people would be like, "No, I stayed up all night and played video games." No, at the time, my parents were the ones staying up all night playing something. They were laughing at each other because they would go around backwards in the
Oh,
NASCAR.
it was fun.
Yeah,
It was
it's-
fun going around.
yeah.
They go, what is he doing?
Yeah, the little guy that talks over the races,
Yeah.
the commentator. Yeah, and then you had a few years later, PlayStation 2, Burnout.
Yeah, your mama
Burnout
loved
3 Takedown. For years now, I've been wanting, like, I want to find a PlayStation 2 and that game just so we can all play it again. Now, I
Yes.
know, and I've done this recently. I went back and played Assassin's Creed 2, which came out a while ago. And, like, you know, my memory was like, oh, this game was smooth. It was fun. And then I played it. And I was like, this wasn't as smooth as I remember.
Right.
But like in your head, in your memories, you know, it makes it better than what it was. Now, I'm not saying Assassin's Creed 2 was bad, but playing the most recent one and then going back to the second one, you could see like the technological
How
increases.
it's moved up.
Yeah. It was a great game, but it definitely felt it was slower. Is the best way I can explain that. Like your character didn't move as fast.
Right.
Now I'm pretty sure going back to Burnout would feel the same because you know we're looking at it through nostalgia.
Yes.
Now I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying that it's probably not going to be as good as we remember.
Oh, I know.
But still,
We had a good time with that game.
yeah, because you and Mama would stay up and play that one too. Now I remember Mama used to get the high scores while you were at work, and then
Yeah.
you would come home and beat those high scores.
Oh, she done that a lot on the Wii,
With the
yes.
Wii, because
On
we
the
had the
Wii
Wii
Sports.
Wii Sports, then we had the
Yep.
Wii Fit board
Yes.
and the ski jump.
Yep.
That was y'all's number one thing, the ski jump.
Yeah, your mama would she'd work at it all day while I was at work.
Yep, and then as soon as you came home, she'd be like, "Look at this."
And then I had to beat it.
You had to, yes. So yeah, that's a general consensus of what we're going to be talking about.
Well, see, that's what I'm talking about. We made sure you and your brother understood. We was right there with you. We had fun just as much as y'all did.
Yeah, yeah. And I can remember going back to Rock Band and Guitar Hero.
I got pretty good with the guitar.
Yeah.
Now, the drums I could not get.
The drums was my thing.
Yes.
But I will say the drums are a little bit harder to master than the guitar. The guitar is, which I guess is why they started with it.
Well, you had it in your hands and you remembered your
Buttons.
fingers.
Yeah.
What fingers was what.
Yeah,
but
the drums.
With the drums, you
you're
had to
using-
actually look.
You were using your peripherals.
Right.
And unless you remembered where that drum was at, you would hit the
Right.
plastic, or you would completely miss and throw the drumstick.
Yes.
I did that a few times too. But yeah, I think just going back to that, growing up, at least where I grew up, my musical taste was obviously very influenced by you and Mama. And I think that's why Guitar Hero worked out so well back then, because y'all would see it like as a commercial. You'd be like, those are some of the songs that I grew up with.
Right.
And then you'd be like, well, my kid.
Well, see, that's what got you liking the music that I grew up with.
Yeah.
And you still do. And,
I still do, yeah.
And your brother does too.
Yeah, I would say my musical taste is very open.
It's out there.
I mean, I can listen to AC/DC. I can listen to like
country,
like old school country. I will say I like old school country a little bit better.
That was from your grandpa.
Yeah, I like old school country a little bit more than I do some of that new school stuff.
Right.
Like this new stuff, it's very pop.
It's getting more rocky country pop. It's like combining all of the...
Yeah, it's all of them at once.
Yes.
But yeah, I think that's why Guitar Hero worked out so well when it did in those early 2000s because, you know, those kids were listening to that music from their parents. And their parents were like, well, they want this game. And there's some music on there that I like, so might as well get it too. So it became like this thing. It was like, that's why it was so popular to you. Whereas now, I don't know if it'd be as popular. Because like the kids growing up now aren't necessarily listening to AC/DC or Def Leppard.
Right.
They're listening to like pop music. So,
but
you know,
you would have your kids.
Yeah.
Because you listened to it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so
that's how you learned it from me because I listened to it. In the vehicle, if we was riding around doing something or going to the grocery store.
It was always AC/DC, Metallica,
and your
Def
mama
Leppard.
done a lot of country music.
The country, like Keith Urban.
Hey, your mama likes a lot of the older rock and roll too.
Yeah, she does. Yeah. Speaking of that, we did say that we wanted to have guest hosts.
Yes.
Every now and then. So I mean, it could be my brother Nathan, or it could be my mom. I think Tina.
Yes.
Which is weird for me to say. Some kids. Have you seen that recently? Where
they call their parents by their name?
Yeah. No. And maybe it's because I'm just like deeply rooted in that old school. Like, don't call me Christopher.
Right.
You don't know me like.
Well, see, my name is Kenneth, but everybody calls me Kenny, and that's the way I want to be called, is Kenny.
Yeah. And the same thing, my full name's Christopher, but please just call me Chris.
Right.
Like Christopher's when I'm in trouble. But yeah.
Yeah, when you hear your name,
when I hear that full name, that full name is like something's up. What did I do? But yeah, so eventually we'll have a guest host. Also, it's my hopes that maybe local sponsors.
Yes.
One of which
we're willing to.
Yeah, we're willing to
accept.
Yeah, accept. Yeah,
sponsors.
Especially if it's like a restaurant or something local that we really support.
And if they would like us to do reviews on them, just let us know.
Yep. I mean, we're definitely not going to sell out. Like, we're going to,
right.
It's going to be brands or...
If you want me to come check your restaurant out...
Yes.
I'm going to tell the truth.
Yes.
I'm not going to lie about it.
No.
If I do not like it, I will say I do not like it.
Yeah.
If I like it, I will
definitely
say that I do like it, and it's a great place to go.
Yeah. So yeah. I mean,
we're biased people. I mean, we're going to say what we're supposed to say,
Yep. So, but yeah, like this is an example. We've talked about life, movies, TV shows. We do want to do trivia games. I think trivia games would be fun.
Yes.
And then also questions from you guys. I said that before. Like I said, I'll give you the email. And if you're too cool for email, you can do the comment section of Facebook or YouTube.
Oh, yes.
But we definitely want to keep it casual and more conversational based. And then we're also going to avoid details about work. And then we're going to avoid politics and religion. Because things can get pretty dicey.
Yes.
When it comes to that. And everybody's got an opinion. Everybody's got a way of looking at life.
Right.
Not necessarily that one's better than the other.
And they may not like what we say.
Exactly. And I want this to be inclusive.
Talk about it,
I want everybody to be able to listen.
Right.
Not just the Danvillians, but also Beyonders. That's why I picked the name. I really, I wanted it to be a thing locally, but also people elsewhere can.
I mean, if you're a transplant, you came down here from somewhere else.
Yeah, but it's always so interesting to me. I'm like, people will move from like big cities. I'm like, how did you find Danville?
Right.
Like, we're such a small dot on the map. I don't understand.
I mean, did you throw a dart or something?
I don't understand
let's go to that.
I don't understand how people find us, but they do. And which I guess is a good thing.
Yes, but we're so close to North Carolina line.
Yes, yeah, close to Greensboro.
Yes.
I mean, the biggest city in Virginia closer to us is probably Roanoke.
Or you got Lynchburg, Roanoke.
Lynchburg, yeah. Lynchburg's probably the next biggest city closest to us.
And then, well, you got Eden that's close to us. It's in North Carolina, which is right there near us.
And then Eden's got the movie drive-in.
Yes.
Which we've went to a few times.
Yes.
I think
Harry Potter and Transformers.
It was Transformers 1.
Yes.
And then Harry Potter and the Order of the
3?
Phoenix. No, it wasn't 3. 3 I had on VHS tape.
Oh, okay.
I remember watching that.
Phoenix, it may have been.
The Order of the Phoenix. Yes. Yeah, I think that was it. Because I think I had Goblet of Fire on DVD.
Right.
And so, and I had it, I know this is old. I say old. But it was those DVDs that had, it was like paper on the front.
Well, you are 28.
I am 28, yeah. So it's weird looking back at things because they're like, people would be like, what's a DVD? Because everything's digital, everything's streaming.
Right.
Well,
you had DVDs, then you had VHS, then you had DVDs.
Yes. And I still remember what to do if the VHS tape came out of the VHS cassette. like I know how to fix that. Some people would be like, "Hold on, it can come out of the cassette." Yes. Yeah, your VHS tape. It was a film that was inside this plastic case. And some of you are like, "Yeah, I know," but you got to remember, some people listening are not going to even know what this is.
Nope.
But it was a film inside of a plastic case. And then you had to turn the plastic case to make the film roll back in on itself.
A little bit tighter.
Yeah, because sometimes the VHS player would grab the film for whatever reason. Who knows? It would grab it and it would catch it. And if you caught it in time, it didn't break it.
Right.
You hoped it didn't break it or scratch it or whatever.
And you hope it didn't get twisted. If it got twisted, it really messed it up on that part.
Yeah.
It was just like a cassette tape that people don't
cassette
remember.
Tape, yes. People don't remember that either because all the music is either on YouTube or Spotify.
Yeah.
And so, speaking of Spotify, that'll be one of the platforms that this podcast is on.
Okay.
So, and then YouTube as well. YouTube will literally just be a picture. It'll be something I make, but it'll say Danville Beyond episode 1.
Right.
And then it'll just be that still image and then the audio that they're hearing. Whereas Spotify will just be the audio. There won't be no film, video attached to it. But so.
But we want to hear about, Danville started out small.
Yes.
It's getting bigger.
Yes, slowly, very slowly, but surely.
And we want to hear from your struggles. Into what you're doing now. Mm-hmm. Stuff like that.
Yeah. Because life has its ups, and it most certainly has its downs.
We have been poor.
Yeah.
The Lord has been good to us.
Yeah. And so, going back to that, growing up, I never felt poor.
Right. That we tried not to let you know.
Yeah. And I'm sure that's something that y'all actively tried to make sure that happened. But I never felt that I was poor. And I'm not saying that we were there are definitely people that were poorer than us.
Yes.
But I never felt less fortunate. I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
Right.
I always had what we needed, and then when it came to Christmas, we always had what we wanted too.
Yes.
And a lot of it was probably because you were working extra.
Yeah. Sometimes I would work 2 jobs. To make sure y'all had.
Yep. Exactly. So But with that being said, even with you working more than one job, me and Nathan, I can't speak for Nathan, but I'm pretty sure he would feel this way. I never felt like I saw less of you.
Right.
Like when you were home, you were home. You were present, I guess is what I'm trying to say, which is... And
I would always come to your room, make sure you knew I was at home.
Yeah.
And if there's anything you needed.
And you would watch... maybe 5 minutes of whatever we were watching.
I would sit down with you and watch it.
Or play, or if I was stuck, I'm like, good, I'm stuck. And then you would get through whatever level I was struggling with.
Or you would say, Daddy, can you do this for me? I can't get through it.
Yeah. So.
And, I would do it 2 or 3 times before I'd get it, but...
Yeah.
It was just a pattern you had to figure out
Yep.
in most of the games.
And
most games are. It's a pattern.
Yeah, most games are. There are very rare games that the combat is random.
Yeah.
Like, it's always a pattern. There's something that you can pick up on that you know a big attack is coming next.
Right.
So, but yeah, that's something I learned from you watching you play. And like, you would go through it a few times. You'd be like, okay, well, I remember he's going to do this next.
Right.
Yeah, and it was something that, as a young kid, you don't pick it up.
Well, like on Sly Cooper, when you're in that water with the boat.
Yes.
At certain limbs, it's going to be in that same place.
Same position,
each time you move.
Or those boss battles, they're going to
make the same moves.
Make the same moves, yeah.
Yes.
But, like, when you're younger, you don't pick up on stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah, it's not until
But that's what I was teaching you.
Yes, exactly. And, yeah.
Life has patterns.
Yes. Yeah, it does. See, I think a lot of people, when they get older, they're like, video games are for kids.
No.
There's something.
I mean, I don't.
Same thing with movies and TV. Like, there are lessons that you can learn from all of those.
Right.
That you can use in your life.
Well, you got to understand, you can't make video games your life. You got to be able to do other things.
Other things, yeah.
Enjoy the time that you do your games.
Yeah.
But you need to enjoy the time you do other things.
Yeah, exactly.
Because life ain't just a video game.
No. Yeah.
You've learned that, ain't you?
Yeah. But yeah, so just movies, video games, life stories. We thought about like a question of the week, and I thought about like asking, like obviously we'll take all questions from listeners, but I want to maybe like at the end of every episode give a question, like what's your favorite movie? Like maybe like, and then like the next episode we'll kind of read off everybody's favorite movies, and then also give our answer
of what we think about the movies, and
maybe
what our favorite movie.
Exactly, and I think that's gonna be the question for this week. What's your favorite movie?
And what we thought about it,
and why? What's your favorite movie and why?
Right. And then we would say what we thought about the movie and how we liked it.
Yeah, and then towards the end we'll give our favorite movies and why.
Right.
So yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and put that in stone. The question of the week this episode.
Oh, that's gonna be a hard decision.
It is for me too.
Because there's a whole lot of them I like.
Like I said that right now, I've got a list in my head.
I just rolled the list too.
Like, for me to pick one, that's going to be tough.
You know what the first one came to my mind?
What?
Mask.
The Mask? Okay.
Yes, that's the first one come to my head.
With Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey.
That is a good one. First one that popped in my head was Man of Steel. The first Superman movie.
The very certain, I mean, the
Christopher
Reeve?
No, the Man of Steel, the one with Henry Cavill. The newest one.
Well, see, I remember Christopher
Reeves, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, me too. And that's also a set of movies, VHS tapes, I'm sure that I destroyed as well.
Probably.
Yeah, because that was Superman 1.
Well, you
Superman
remember
2.
We had a whole wall full from top to bottom of VHS movies.
It was a bookshelf, but it was full of VHS tapes.
That's probably why you were so interested in going to school for this.
Oh yeah. It was very deeply rooted. It was something that started when I was very young.
And you're doing more like I do now. I can figure out movies as they're going along before they even get to that point.
Cupcake, my fiance, I'm sure Mama gets mad at you too.
Yes.
Like mid-episode or even mid-movie.
I can say, well, so-and-so did it. I know.
And they'll be like, how do you know? I'm like, trust me, I know. It was them. And then they get to the end of the movie and it was them. Yeah. It's just subtle clues we pick up on.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's something that
now, is some directors
that
writers
are very good.
That are very good
at tricking. Yes.
They have tricked me many a time. Yes.
There's a few movies or TV shows
and
where
if we can figure that out, we'll have that wrote down too. Exactly what directors and
writers
has fooled us.
Okay,
yeah, that sound good.
I can write that down. Yes. That can be a future episode.
And if y'all have anything like that too, that they have fooled you or
like I said, like we will literally take any questions from what's your favorite color to life advice,
right?
Because it's just is life. I mean, I don't want to stick to like easy questions like what's your favorite color? Blue.
And we want this to get out to more people around Danville and all.
Danville and beyond.
And beyond.
That's why the title is what it is.
Because we want them to know more about our town.
Yes.
Well, our city.
Our city, yes.
Yeah. Excuse me.
Yeah.
And it is growing.
It is growing. Well, I wanted this one to be an hour long, but I think we're
pretty close.
Pretty good. We're about 40 minutes in.
Oh, okay.
But you did
what
say... What else
do you have on your list?
That was pretty much it. This one's obviously going to be shorter because it's the introduction.
Right.
But like, it'll probably be more of a like layout for the next one.
Right.
But everything else was just like name ideas, logos, and then the idea of merch, like T-shirts,
okay,
stuff like that later on, and then of course the information for the YouTube and everything that I made. But yeah, obviously future episodes will be a little longer because we'll have questions.
Yes,
we'll have we'll have the question of the week. We'll have the favorite movie and why to go through.
And another thing, when we get together, we ramble.
Yes, and like this episode, I'm pretty sure it's a pretty clear indication because like when we ramble, it's scatterbrained, but that's very much how our brains are.
Yes, because
like my brain does not go down a railroad track.
Both of us have ADHD.
Yeah, and which I think they're calling it something different now.
Yeah,
but yeah, what we know it as is attention deficit hyperactive disorder.
Right.
Yes. So our brains move at 1,000 miles per hour.
Yeah, I'm thinking about 10 things at one time.
Yeah.
And one thing will hit up first, and that'll come out of my mouth, and it'll be just random.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So
like squirrel.
Yes, squirrel. Yeah. So yeah, this podcast will be a lot of that.
Yeah.
Which is good. Like I said, it's gonna get back to who we are as people.
Yes.
And but yeah, I think that's a good episode.
And we want to know people's life experience around Danville too.
Mm-hmm.
Things that they like, things that they want to do or see.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, and like I said, my goal is to keep it very casual and conversational.
And we try to be very polite.
Yeah. Yeah. But I want it to be just like we're sitting down. Like this is a conversation we would normally have anyway.
Oh yes.
It's just now it's recorded for everybody else to listen to.
It takes a few minutes for us to get started, but when we get started and thinking about stuff.
Yeah. And I definitely think that you warmed up as the episode went on.
Of course I did. I mean,
not that you were like, I wouldn't say scared.
No, it's different for me.
Different, yes.
Because I'm not this kind of talker where other people can hear me.
Yeah. Well, see, me, I wasn't either. And then I did like theater.
Yes.
And then I've done YouTube for a while. And then I went to film school. So like, I'm used to having my voice out there.
Yes.
And not everybody's used to that.
I'm not used to it.
Yeah. This will probably be the first time your voice has hit somebody's ear on the internet.
It gets me in my heart knowing that you want my voice.
Yeah.
To have and later in your life.
Yeah.
When I'm not around.
Exactly. Yeah. So like, I want to have that, but I want other people to have that too.
Right.
Because like I said, some people don't have a dad. So maybe, something you'll say will like hit their heart and be like,
And I don't mind answering questions for stuff like that.
Yeah.
If someone doesn't have a dad and they have
a life. Something come up. Yes. That's
what do I think about it?
That's very much.
All I can do is give you my opinion.
Yeah. Yep.
What you do with it is your choice.
You. Yes. Yeah, that's very much what I want this to be.
And that's what I've always done with my boys.
Yeah.
I give them my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And if you take it, you take it. If you don't, you don't.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, there's a YouTube channel out there. It's a guy who didn't have a dad.
Mm-hmm.
Who explains how to do like general like he'll show you how to replace a toilet.
Right.
Sorry if you hear that. We have two dogs outside. We haven't quite upgraded to a studio yet. So this is like literally in
my kitchen.
Yeah, your kitchen. So the audio may be a little echoey, but it'll be okay. It's probably something I can fix and post, which is something I hate to hear on a film set.
Oh, yes.
We'll fix it in post. Yeah, sure, but give me something to work with. Don't tell me to fix it in post and not give me nothing.
Right.
So, yeah, I think this is a good first episode in the books. It was very all over the place.
Yes,
but
it was.
that's going to be a theme with us.
Yes.
That's just how our brain works. That's how future episodes are going to work.
And if you're someone that is like that too, contact us. Let us know.
Yep. Like I said. Oh, the email. Okay. I almost forgot to give out the email. So obviously you can ask us questions. If just anything on the YouTube comments or the Facebook or Twitter comments. So like I said, I'm not going to make a page for this on Facebook because I think it's counterintuitive to start over from zero and then add everybody. Right. So if you have a question, leave it in his Facebook post or leave it in my Facebook post.
Right.
Or use it, or the Twitter. I'll give the Twitter. Now that I say that, I have to remember the Twitter. Hold on, guys. Give me a second. I believe I didn't write it down. I should have. I'll just give y'all, for this one, I'll give you, just leave it on our YouTube or leave it on either of our Facebooks. And then the email, if you want to send us an email with a question or something you just want us to talk about, it's Danville and Beyond 06@gmail.com. So that's DANVILLE, the and symbol, BEYOND 06@gmail.com. So send us a question or anything you want us to talk about.
And if you didn't get that, leave us a comment. Maybe we could send it back to you on a comment.
Yep. And like I said, the next episode, I should have that Twitter account ready to go. Kind of slipped my brain there. I made it, but I can't remember exactly the way it's worded because you can't use symbols.
Right.
So like I couldn't use and, for example. But yeah, leave it on the YouTube channel, which you're listening to if you're on YouTube, or leave it on our Facebook or our email. So that's it from us, and we'll see you next time.
Y'all have a good day.